Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You hear that? I know you're probably like, what is that? Well, I'll keep you from being in suspense. That's me on the treadmill. I'm going to record my podcast today on a treadmill. For good reason. Exercise has been a very big part of my life journey. Many people have been, but I would say some of the creativity that I give birth to and gives me the opportunity to spread my words and wisdom and share the love for my exercise and my health journey comes when I'm on a treadmill or on a bike or an elliptical, when I'm lifting weights, doing Pilates or yoga. It gets my creative juices flowing. So we're going to do this a little differently than most podcasts I'm sure you've heard. One of my biggest things I take pride in is being able to live organically, vulnerably, free. So today, on this episode of the Silver Fox Journal podcast, we're going to talk about my health journey. I gained weight in my early 20s. Not a significant amount of weight at first, but enough. Some people like to say I was big boned. Not that bones get any bigger just because you have a little more fluff on you, but that was always the explanation. Oh, she's not heavy, she's just big boned it. Well, my big bones caused my dress sizes to go up and up and up. So when I was 21, around that age, is when I realized that I had gotten the heaviest that I had ever, up until they had been. And it was funny because it wasn't until I got older and looked back at my life that I didn't realize that my childhood, some of my visions and view of myself from my childhood, I wasn't a heavy kid. As a matter of fact, I didn't get bullied or picked on for being a big kid. If anything, I went through this awkward stage where I kind of blossomed faster than a lot of the other girls. And if you were to look at me now, at almost 40 years old, of course that stopped. It's not like I wear a double eyebrow and, I'm definitely not bootylicious, but over the years, from when I was young until I got to my preteens, I grew faster. I was taller. My breasts grew bigger and faster than other girls of my age. My menstrual cycle started earlier. So, when all that passed and adulthood was here and the weight started to pick up, I'll never forget the day that I realized that I had to do something. It was a holiday season. A very good friend of mine named Jennifer, who was known for her parties, invited me over. If I'm not mistaken, around this time, she herself was on a health journey and was considering or had either started the process for having gastric bypass surgery. So she was trying to be conscious about the things that came in the house, and there were scales everywhere. So I got dolled up, did my hair, put on my little cute leather jacket, my black sweater. I think I even have a picture of myself for that night. Get dressed, bring my dish. It was like a potluck party thing. There was probably going to be an after party. It didn't matter, but we knew the party was over there. So get over to her house. The music's bumping, the drinks are pouring, the food's warming up. Give her the food, give some hugs and kisses out. Hey, Jen, use your bathroom? Yeah, sure. Go in her bathroom downstairs, because she had 3 bathrooms. But I went to her little, bathroom, water closet bathroom. Pee, get on the scale. Look at the red letters, red numbers. It said 204. I thought, what? Batteries must be bad, because, what other logical explanation would there be if I step on a scale and it says 204, other than it's got to be a faulty scale. Hey, Jen. Yeah. You got another scale? Yeah. Upstairs in the other bathroom. All right. Run upstairs. Go in the bathroom. Step on the scale. 205, 204, 205, 204. Now, how is it in God's green earth, this woman, with all the technology in here that she has 2 faulty scales that are telling me I weigh 204 pounds? Impossible, right? I was shook. I walked all the way back downstairs, walked over to everybody, gave hugs, dapped them up, said, I'm getting ready to go home. All right, where you going? Party just got started. In the back of my mind, I was like, my party ended. I left my dish. I said, hey, get it back to me when I see you next time. Put my coat on, got in the car and drove home. And to be honest with you, I don't really remember details of that night. And I'm not saying that because of like a traumatic experience per se, and it blocked my memory. But out of the other things in my brain to remember of that day, that's the thing that resonated with me the most. I knew that I had gained weight. I knew that I wasn't living very healthy. I had so many things going on with relationships, money, job. It was the stuff stories are made of, which is the reason why I have so many of them. And in the back of my mind, I guess I never envisioned that weight was on my life struggles radar at that point. I just was at a loss. I was like, how did I get over 200 pounds? Like, what happened? I'm 5'5" and a half, and I'm 200 pounds. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying that anyone who's possibly 5'5" and a half, 6'1", or 4'11", that's 204 pounds, is unhealthy. I just know that my 5'5" and a half, 204 pound self was not healthy. I knew it. I wasn't eating well. I was drinking too much. I was partying way too much. I was in an unhealthy relationship. I was surrounding myself around people who had similar thoughts. And that was to get partied up and eat and just do whatever. And that's not how I needed to live. But I couldn't see the proverbial forest for the trees at that point. The nail in the coffin was, I don't know, I can't remember the time frame. I don't think it was weeks, but it wasn't too far after I had gone to the party and saw the 204 in red on the scale. I had gotten, my house that I was living in had gotten burglarized. A good friend of mine, the plan was she was going to move in very briefly, and we were going to move into a nice new big place. We both had our own bedroom suites and cohabitate. That was my homegirl. We could do it. Well, when she moved in, literally the week she moved in, someone kicked my bedroom window in, broke in and stole. They robbed us blind, and they stole some of the stupidest stuff. But what really got me is once we made it from the living room all the way to my bedroom, they had actually broken into the bedroom. I realized that my clothes had gotten tousled. And I'm thinking, what are they looking for? Fast forward, after the CSI people come, clean up, we get ourselves situated, we find another place to live. I can't find things. And one of my most prized possessions at that time was a pair of New York & Company khaki pants, because the job I had at the time required that I wear khaki bottoms. Couldn't find them. So fast forward, I'm going to say a few months. By this time, the weight had gotten on me. And I don't know if it was because I had gotten rid of a piece of furniture, but when I moved the furniture that was there, underneath a chest were my khakis. Oh my God, they were my favorite work khakis. I don't know how I was surviving at work every day. So I'm scrambling, I'm running late, I'm doing my hair, brushing my teeth, getting dressed, I put my bra on, go to put my shirt on, I try to slide my pants up. They don't get past my thighs. Those were size 14 New York & Company khakis. Now, to a man and some women who never shop there, you're like, what the hell does that mean, it's size 14? No. Their clothes actually run kind of big, so it will be more like a 16 in other clothes, but 14 there. So now I'm shook. I'm late. I look like a crazy woman rushing around, and now I'm not dressed because my butt's too big to get in the pants that I thought were my old standbys. I had to get it together. Not only was I feeling bad, I was gaining weight. Something was wrong. So while I'm at my job, I started having these dizzy spells. I would start seeing spots. And I kept thinking, I'm tired, I'm eating too much, not drinking enough water, I've been working too many hours. And around that time, any of you who've listened to my first episode, this is the time that I found out that I had the condition polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I now had an explanation, not an excuse, but I had an explanation for the weight gain, the cravings. Oh God, I had carbs and sweets all the time. Carbs, sweets. Vegetables? Who needs veggies? Give me all the fried food and potato chips and rice. My weakness, rice and French baguettes. I have no idea. Oh, and buttered noodles. I could eat all of those all day. I didn't need anything else. I didn't need juice. Who needs water? Water's for suckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I knew is that's what I needed. But once I got that weight on me and that heavy feeling of sadness and discourse and everything in my life just wasn't in a good spot, I made a commitment after seeing those red numbers and pulling those pants up and not being able to get those pants on. I made a decision. When your doctor tells you, you're pre-diabetic, I'm not going to put you on medicine, but you better lose the weight. Oh yeah, by the way, you had this condition that might affect your health in long term, but you might not be able to have kids, or if you do, they might be difficult. And at 21, 22 years old, I'm like, what? Now, that was the early part of the story. Can I say that I don't have any other parts of that journey that haven't continued to motivate me to do what I'm doing right now? The reason why I'm a little winded and you hear my feet in the background? Yeah, lots. But that was the pivotal moment in my young adult life where I had to make a decision, and I had to do it for me, not for anyone else, for me, for my future, for my well-being. And I knew that the only way I was going to do that was going to treat my body, my spirit, and my mind right. And that was the start. I gradually changed my eating habits, and the first 10, 15 pounds dropped off, and over the years it just kept getting so smaller and smaller. Pick up about 5'10", lose 5'10". Pick up 5'10", lose 5'10". But I'm almost 40 years old. I've struggled with multiple things. But the one thing that I made a promise to myself, other than saying I was going to be sexy by 60, was that I was going to live and be the best version of myself that I could be, whatever that looks like at 40, 60, or 85. And I do that by doing this as frequently as I can, but as healthy as I can. no disordered thoughts about how to lose weight, no unhealthy eating habits and diets. I decided to make sure that whatever I do to maintain my health comes from a place of love and honesty. And I think that's something I strive to do any day and every day, but definitely when it comes to my health, because this body is mine. It's the only one that I have. No matter how many times I alter it, no matter how many piercings or tattoos I have, whether I dye my hair or never dye it again, the one thing that I will always have is me. And I want to stay healthy and fit for as long as I can. So if you're struggling yourself with trying to find a reason, don't. Do it for you. Some people say to do it for the kids. Some people say to do it for literally their health. Whatever motivates you to do it, do it. I've got plenty of other health stories, but that was my first time that I realized I had to do this for myself. Well, as usual, you could have been anywhere else for 15, 16 minutes of your life, but you shared it with me, and I appreciate it. Stay tuned for next week's Silver Fox Journal podcast episode. Until then.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.